Real Madrid transfer window is once again heating up. We are looking for a left-footed centre-back. So is Bastoni gonna be possible? There are some rumors about Arda Güler going to PSG. And then the last point that we have in this video is gonna be Endrick might be going out on loan once again with Aston Villa and AS Roma already interested. That's all that is going to be today for the transfer talk. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, make sure to leave your thoughts on the whole topic and every topic that we have in this video. And please, if you're there, subscribe and like the video as well. First thing we're going to talk about is Real Madrid are looking to sign a left-footed centre-back. It can be genuinely just left centre-back, left-footed centre-back, it doesn't matter. We don't have a left-footed centre-back currently at the club. We only have Huijsen, who likes to play on the left side, but he is right-footed, which he is a ball-playing defender. But on the defensive side, once again, we all know that Dean Huijsen will not fully be trusted. It is kind of funny that Sergio Ramos is trending. And if you were wondering, why is Sergio Ramos trending? Because Dean Huijsen is actually getting flamed because he took the number 4 after Sergio Ramos. And I completely get that, I'm not gonna lie. Raul Asensio taking the number 2 as well. The defensive situation is just in shambles, I'm not gonna lie, at Real Madrid, completely. But am I happy with this? Of course. Who can we really sign? Because Bastoni is probably the biggest target. There is no official rumors yet, and this is not even a official statement. But I do believe that we will be looking to sign one more player this window. It's either going to be the midfielder or the center back, and I believe honestly more in the center back because we just seem to believe that Bernardo Silva is the savior of Real Madrid in this midfield. So we might as well just look at the center backs. And if we're being honest, I think Alessandro Bastoni was linked the most heaviest before to Real Madrid, at least a month ago now. And if you look at Bastoni's profile, we know he's an absolutely, sensational ball-playing defender, especially on the ball, carrying the ball, playing even as a left back, left wing back sometimes. He is sensational. Yes, you have 96% percentile in progressive passes, 93 in passes completed. You can't see the progressive carries, but progressive carries he's in the 97 percentile, which is crazy. It's crazy. He fills all the boxes that we are looking for because he would basically be replacing Huijsen on that left side, and somebody would be playing next to Bastoni, which could even be Huijsen. It could be that Huijsen will be moving to the right side as well if this happens, which I'm not saying this is 100% gonna happen, but I'm just entertaining the idea because I think if we did sign Bastoni, it would be an upgrade, but all of this is nice. I mentioned progressive passes this, on the ball playing. Sure, he's left-footed. When you look at Bastoni's heat map, you're probably going to be shocked. Like, we know he likes to play on the left side. But when I saw this is Alessandro Bastoni's heat map in the 25-26 season and even in 24-25. You could see this brother is just moving on the left. He's not even a center-back. Like, if we were to compare, to compare this with, for example, I don't know, Virgil van Dijk, even Huijsen at our club, Pacho, Marquinhos, Saliba, Gabriel, these guys usually, occupy maybe this space and maybe a little bit of the space just above the defense. And especially, Barcelona center backs, are a little bit more upwards because they do play that high line. But Bastoni, that brother is playing left wing as well. He's playing more up there than some midfielders at Real Madrid. Honestly, Tchouameni is playing deeper than Bastoni. And I think this could be a big problem, especially for Jose Mourinho. But, if the club would believe in him and if he could play in the 4-back formation, I think on the ball he would be sensational. But when I saw the heat map and when I saw all of the stats, how much he actually plays on the left, not just as a left centre-back, but on the left, it's kind of a, uncertainty, in my opinion, putting him in a 4-back system where, Jose Mourinho, let's be honest, likes to be defensive. He likes his center-back to be monstrous defensively. The defenders need to defend. That's the first thing Jose Mourinho wants to do. That's why we bought, Cucurella. And yes, we have Trent on the other side, but we also have Dumfries, who is looking to be made more into a physical defensive right back, not this bombing up and forward, a right back, which still, Dumfries is still going to be attacking. That's the modern fullback. Both the fullbacks still would be attacking, still have to be good on the ball, but they will be better defensively, hopefully. I'm just hoping that happens next season. But hey, Bastoni, I think it's a huge risk bringing him in. I think the money wouldn't be too crazy. 60 to 70 million in this day and age is not too much for a player of his stature with so much experience, especially in the UCL deep runs and, you know, in a league campaign for Inter, which I think he has won the league with Inter 3 or 2 times now. So it's not, he's really experienced. And he's only 27. He's in the prime of his career. I think, you know, we don't have to speak about his ability. I think it's just a question of, are we bringing in another player that doesn't really suit the playing style and the system at Real Madrid? I don't know. Another, you know, option would probably be Thomas Araujo from Benfica or maybe Nico Schlotterbeck, but once again, Thomas Araujo not really linked, and I don't think he's at the point of, you know, coming to Real Madrid. And then Nico Schlotterbeck unfortunately got injured. So I think Bastoni will be the biggest target in this left-footed market of a centre-back. Because I don't know if it's completely true, but if we are going to be looking for it, it's going to be Bastoni in my opinion. Then we have this absolute nonsense of a report from Matchday Central and Turkish reporters and this and that, and I saw it. Even if this were true, we would never sell Arda Güler for 115 million. This is absolute waffle, yeah? If I had to put money on the line, like anything on the line for this not to happen, I'm putting it on the line because Arda Güler will not be joining PSG. PSG will not be making an offer, and this offer is laughable. 115 million for Arda Güler when people like Barcola are apparently 170 million. Yeah, hold my beer and just, brother, hold it. Fenerbahce are also set to benefit, holding a 20% salon clause in Arda Güler's future transfer. Yeah, shush. We're probably never gonna sell Arda Güler until he is forced out the club, because Arda Güler, I genuinely think he loves Madrid. And the last game against Ferencvaros, he did pretty well, and people are starting to say that he has to start. So I don't know why, honestly, he would even be thinking about, you know, leaving Real Madrid. This is completely fake. Now, last point I want to make, of course, Aston Villa and Endrick, and even AS Roma, who is interested in Endrick, but Aston Villa want Endrick, and the player is seriously considering leaving on loan this summer to be a starter for a team with European football. AS Roma also want him. Well, you know, you look at, this was like, what, 24 hours ago. This was released a couple hours later, and Endrick wants to stay at Real Madrid. So, once again, we get one report, and the other report says completely something different. You know, one report says that Endrick wants to leave, the other one says he wants to stay. But, you know, Real Madrid would probably be looking to let Endrick go if it came down to it, because we would have more spots in the team, more players to register, and, of course, huge clubs are interested, like Roma and Aston Villa are good clubs to develop players like Endrick. But is it really time for Endrick to go out on another loan? Or is it just time to give him time on the pitch? It might be time to give him time, guys. Like, you know, I genuinely, let's just speak about this truthfully. Isn't this guy just disrespected at this point? Like, what if Diamande gets injured? Suddenly, we only have Brahim Diaz as a right winger. This is my problem with Real Madrid. We're looking at it from a point of view, yeah, but he will benefit from it personally. His development will be much better at a different club. We will just make his career worse. How about making Real Madrid better? How about making Real Madrid's depth better? How about making Endrick develop at Real Madrid and not another club? We can still do that if he's playing Copa del Rey matches, if he's getting chances off the bench. Yes, I know, it's a huge if, because I don't know what it is with Endrick, but he seems to get so disrespected by every single manager at this club. With Carlo Ancelotti, it was, he gets a chance, he plays good, he gets another chance, he doesn't really do well, and then he doesn't sniff the pitch for around 50 games again. Then with, you know, Xabi Alonso, he basically played no minutes and then went out on loan to Lyon, which he did sensationally well, especially on the right wing. And once again, if you look at where he spent most of his time on the pitch in Ligue 1 for Lyon, it would be on the right, or, you know, just inside of the right wing side. But I don't know why we are looking to get rid of actual good players. Why am I hearing Endrick out on loan while Raul Asensio is still at the club? Why am I hearing this while Militao has had 58 ACLs? He's still at the club, guys. Ceballos was here for like 8 years. He got minutes every single season. Was never sent out on loan instead of the, you know, outside of the Arsenal loan. So I just don't get it, you know. Ferland Mendy's still here. Why can't we give Endrick a chance? Even if Diomande is going to be starting, I would rather have depth on depth on depth than have only Brahim Diaz under Diomande as a depth option and then no right winger. And let's be honest, guys, Brahim Diaz is no right winger. He is a 10 who likes to drift out wide. If we're being completely honest, Fede Valverde, once again, a guy who can play there, not a right winger. Arda Güler, a guy who can play on the right, not a right winger at all. So why do we want to do this? Are we trusting Bernardo Silva to play like 7 multiple positions once again? Do we want to make another Fede Valverde in this team? Or Camavinga? Like playing left back, CDM, right mid? What are we doing? I don't understand why Endrick is being talked about like some absolute donkey who can't get any minutes at Real Madrid. I just don't think that's the truth. But I think this comes down to Endrick because it has suddenly been reported that Jose Mourinho wants Endrick to stay. It's the same question of if he can make a difference in the preseason and actually get some confidence, which, yes, he did score a goal against, in the game before against, I think it was Fiorentina, right? Fiorentina, I think it was. And then Ferencváros, he didn't really do well in the first half, but in the second half, he made space for that attack. He passed it to Fede Valverde, and then Fede Valverde assisted to Carlos SP. And once again, if he was on the right, he did pretty well. Physically, he's already there. He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to develop his game at the top level. And I don't know if he would be getting every single minute at Aston Villa. If that's the case, maybe give him, another year to develop. But if next year I'm seeing once again Endrick out on loan, might as well let him go because we are absolutely just toying with this guy. We're just waffling at this point because every time I hear Real Madrid, we want Endrick back. Endrick is this, Endrick is that. And then when it gets closer and closer to the end of the transfer window, we're always looking to loan him out or just telling him, well, if you don't leave, you're going to be trash and you're not going to start or play any games. I don't know why that is. Maybe I see more in Endrick than the Real Madrid board. I definitely do, especially as a right winger, because I genuinely think they still see him as a striker, as a second striker. I don't know what it is, but he's definitely more of a player that likes to be on the wing and cut inside. If you watch him at Lyon, you would know that, honestly. Let me know your thoughts down below on everything I discussed in this video, especially Bastoni. The Arda Güler rumor, I don't really care about because it's just fake. If you want to say anything about Arda Güler, maybe if you want to just, make up a scenario where he would leave, fair enough, you can do that. I'm pretty sure the Turkish fans will still be hating on me in the comments because I said Arda Güler is this and that, so you can do that in the comments as well. It helps the engagement and your opinion, especially on Endrick, once again, being the guy that has to be pushed out on loan. I'm really interested to see if he actually goes. But this has been all for the transfer talk. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you so much for the support on the latest videos as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.